Hello, I'm Jane Applegate with the Center for Digital Strategies. I'm here today with Yvette Kanouff, Chief Strategy Officer for SeaChange International. Welcome, Yvette. Thanks for coming to Tuck.
Thank you.
What would you say are the factors that are driving the demand for personalized content?
That is an interesting question. So I guess I really don't believe there's any main driver that's pushing for personalized content. I think what happens is that in time, and throughout history as well, the more technology exists, the more we can have things at our fingertips, the more we want them. And it's human nature that's driving it. Maybe that's the best answer, which is, we used to go to libraries to get information. Now we just do a couple of clicks on the internet and we get information. We used to have to wait until certain times to speak to our friends. Now they're always accessible. And so the concept of being able to have everything just the way I want it, personal for me with the access that I need, is because the technology exists to get it. And I think that it's just going to continue and continue. And the more technology that exists to bring it forth, the more we'll want it on our TV and want to take it with us mobile.
How did SeaChange establish its market dominance?
We actually were a company that was founded with the concept of personal television. So in the early 90s, we believed that was going to be the end game, and we still believe that very much. We started actually with advertising. There were large companies, very big name companies that got into video on demand and weren't that successful at it. And so I think that our big differentiator was that we really understood our customers, and we understood what it took, what the price points were going to be, what the service had to be, what had to be included, and we really met those needs early, and we did it well and at the right cost. And we have about 80% market share now as a result, so it's not bad.
Your company devotes an enormous amount of time and resources to technology. Is that what makes you the market leader?
Well, I think as a technology company, it's always important to have to be on the cutting edge, on the bleeding edge of technology, and you have to know that every technology we build today, tomorrow will be leapfrogged. You look at all of the Moore's laws and different approaches to how quickly technology will turn over. You have to continue to innovate. But I think what's really most important is not just looking at hardware, but we are over 60% software. And so that software is understanding the consumer, understanding the customers, building applications, being creative, knowing how to use the technology. And I guess the last aspect of that is, I think it's not always just a technology war. It's understanding and being smart on the business side as to how to use the technology. Because to be honest with you, the best technology doesn't always win and doesn't always get the most market share, because you have to be smart, understand your customers' needs, and run the best business too.
How do you think viewers will react to having advertisements inserted into their VOD content?
There's a lot of data on that actually, and there's been a lot of focus groups and testing that's happened to really see where advertising what it can change into. So what we do know is that there's been a lot of creativity in advertising in the last few years with internet advertising, with different business models, with consumer proactive advertising, meaning click here and view this ad. And so I think that what you're going to see is television changing more towards smart ads, targeted ads, interesting ads, so that it's not so there's not a concern about what advertising does as much as it will be relevant to the consumer. So right now there are a lot of targeting companies and a lot of advanced advertising activity happening to make advertising relevant.
What's been the response when you take away the ability to fast forward through commercials?
This is the fine balance. From a consumer standpoint, it's nice to be able to fast forward and rewind at will, regardless of what it is that you're watching. On the other hand, you have to balance the content provider, right? So the content provider would like to license content, and if you want to watch it again and store it, they would like to make sure that that advertising money that they spent, that those advertisements also get watched. So because somebody came home 5 minutes late and was watching a television show shifted by 5 minutes doesn't mean that they should be able to fast forward. So the concept of not fast forwarding has been the way to strike a balance between giving time-shifted content to consumers, which they really want, and being able to please at the same time the content providers to say, look, the consumers, they can't fast forward it just like they can't in the live broadcast. And I think it's an interim step, really. So consumers are fine with it because, well, at least I get to watch my content even though I missed the show. On the other hand, there's a lot of testing happening right now with companies like Cox, where they are actually implementing and have publicly said that they're going to allow fast forwarding once the ads become more relevant. And so again, it comes back to the prior question, which is if you make the ads relevant, the idea is that people won't want to fast forward. So by making a lot of assumptions and throwing advertisements that people don't want to watch, that's where, you know, it's somewhat, you know, forced in front of you today. And so I think that you'll see that go away in time.
Yvette, at some point, do you see VOD replacing scheduled broadcasts?
I believe it. I'm counting on it. It's absolutely what our company's founded on, and I think that it's just so logical to think that if you can watch television whenever you want it and wherever you want it, why would you say, no, I think I'll give that up and instead I'd like to be able to watch it at 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening? Of course you'll watch it whenever you want to watch it. So as life becomes more convenient, we just have been raised in an environment of understanding linear programming, and so we've structured our life around it. But as soon as that requirement goes away, I think that we'll watch content when we want to. On the other hand, as you mentioned, there will always be broadcast because when the Super Bowl's on, we're going to want to watch it live, and there's something to be said for the first broadcast of your favorite show when it comes on, and it's the opening season, and there's something to be said for the social aspect of bringing people together to watch something. So there will be linear television in that aspect, but I think that slowly it is fading away. The time concept of linear television as a way to watch TV is absolutely shifting, and I'm glad.
How do you feel about the internet as a mechanism for delivering content?
We started with compression technologies that needed so much storage space for content, and it was so difficult to transmit, and we're at a fraction of that bandwidth now with the same quality levels. And I hope that as we come up with new compression technologies and we continue on with engineering innovation, that we'll be able to do more with less, always do more with less. So one day, is it feasible to think that you'll have the same quality of service with a fraction of 1 megabit? It would be great. It would be great. But it doesn't exist today, and so I think in the short term, in the near term that we can see, we still really have to focus on quality of service. We have to focus on encryption technologies, conditional access. It is important to protect the content for the content providers in order to let the innovation grow.
How do you predict we will be watching video content 5 years from now?
What it could be like is having your content, and it's your content. And when you turn on your television, it's your television with what you like. And when you watch the news, it's with your preferences. And if you don't care about the stock update, that part is missed, and it's in the order you want. And you can take it with you. So if you didn't get to finish watching it on this television, you can move it to a different television in your house, and if it's not that, you take it on your mobile device. You can send content back and forth to people, and all of that is technically feasible. We'll be able to launch all that in the next 5 years? Some, but that's the crystal ball of where I think we're going. Television is here to stay. Cable television is here to stay, and internet video is a new and interesting aspect that we can use, and we can merge and mix these two. So I see the internet being a great tool to be able to set up a lot of the personalization that you might want on your cable system. And so the internet is not an enemy of cable or vice versa. They complement each other. And do I think that the internet will take over cable? Absolutely not. I don't think that.
Thank you so much, Yvette.
Thank you for having me. Enjoyed it.